Alright, budget magic time. Playing some Enchantress in Modern, and we'll keep. This is pretty reasonable as long as we get Fertile Ground down for white mana. Assuming that happens, this hand is actually pretty good, depending on the matchup, but Wooded Foothills for our opponent cracks it. Stomping Ground and Wild Nicottle. Alright, so Zoo, Burn, something like that. Forest, Goo. Another Stomping Ground. Untapped. And Curd Ape. Alright, taking 2, down to 18. Well, Forest and Fertile Ground. Pass turn. Come on, not Goblin Guide. Experiment 1. Ugh. So many 1-drops. We do get to start getting some life gain down, though. Starfield, well, hopefully. We're going to play Courser. Hope we have a land on top. We do not. Ay, that's bad news. Really wanted to land for the life gain there. Lightning Mauler. Alright. Opponent's going to go big attack, apparently. Well, as long as our opponent doesn't have mutagenic growth, which would be a huge blowout. Also a possibility, but as long as they don't have mutagenic growth, we should be able to eat something here if they swing with everything. Well, our plan's going to be block Nicottle, hope they don't have mutagenic growth. Alright, that worked. So Nicottle down, opponent passes, land on top. Oh, another Luminarch Ascension. Well, Nyx Fleece Ram, Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. Missing on these land drops is pretty bad for us. That life gain would have been super helpful. Vexing Devil. Alright, we're going to let Vexing Devil live. No, we're not taking damage. Opponent goes attacking. Well, let's block, and take 2. Down to 6. That means double bolt gets us land on top for once. No land. Alright. Tap, add white, tap, untap, tap, and Sphere of Safety. So this stops the creature beats. The question is, can our opponent burn us out? Luckily at 7, it's not that easy for us to die from 2 burn spells. Well, there's a bolt. If they have 3 bolts, we're dead. Opponent passes. Alright. Go up to 5. Alright, Atarka's command down to 1. We probably are dead. Well, Arbor Elf. Yeah, I'm sure we're dead to a burn spell. Kind of unfortunate that we got stuck on 2 lands. Blind Obedience. And Luminarch Ascension. But we're basically just dead to any burn spell here, and there's nothing we can do about it. And our opponent has a bolt. Oh, that's super unfortunate. We just never drew lands. Well, we get all of our Nyx Fleece Rams, which are awesome. We get more Ivory Masks, and also another Sphere of Safety, probably. Go down, I think the Dovescape. Blind Obedience is fine. Let's go down Luminarch Ascensions. Don't seem great in this matchup. Maybe 3 Ivory Masks. Maybe Sphere of Safety is just too expensive to go up a copy and go down 1 Nodes. Let's try it like that. Because Nodes is kind of a no-bo with Nyx Fleece Ram. Alright. Alright, this hand's interesting. Not insane, because we don't have an untapped green source on turn 1, which is what we really want. But we Evolving Wilds go. Bloodstained Mire cracks it. And Nicodle. Well, crack this. Get a forest. Well, let's Arbor Elf and Terramorphic Expanse. Hopefully we don't get hit by Searing Blaze. Goblin Guide for our opponent. Ooh. This Ghostly Prison is looking pretty good. What do we have on top? A Starfield. Alright, we're going to shuffle away Starfield. Get another forest. So drop to 16. But we get a Plains. Play the Plains. Play Fertile Ground. Tap it. Untap it. Tap it. And even though I'd like to Eidolon, I think it makes more sense just to Ghostly Prison. With only one land, our opponent literally can't attack. And even if they draw a second land, they have to spend their entire turn for 2 damage. That does not seem bad. And then next turn, we can Eidolon. Alright, opponent rankers up a Wild Nicodle. Well, tap it, untap it, tap it, and Eidolon of Blossoms. Draws us a card. Utopia Sprawl. Draws us another card. We'll set it on white, I guess. Plains and Nyx Fleece Ram. So that was a pretty good turn. We got to draw 3 cards. And we have a Nyx Fleece Ram down. They got to kill our Eidolon at some point. Wow! That's their choice? Okay. I would have went after the Eidolon. So we get to start gaining life. Courser of Krufix draws us a card. Arbor Elf. Plains. Gains life. And pass turn. Yeah, we're in pretty awesome shape here. Now, our opponent got a land, so in theory they can attack now. There's a Searing Blaze to take down our Eidolon. We're still at 15, though. And gaining life every turn. Canopy Vista up to 17. Sigil. Tap it. Untap it. Tap it. And Sphere of Safety. Gets us a 4/4, and this should be about it. Unless our opponent really thinks they can burn us out, they're never going to be able to attack. And now we have a 4/4 Angel, and we're going to keep getting more of them. Now our opponent's getting lands. And they scoop it up. Yeah, they're just way too far behind. Their deck is not bad at running on one land, but it didn't work out there. Yeah, I think that's a fine setup for us. Alright. This is good just because Ivory Mask and Sphere of Safety are potentially game-winning. Hopefully our Arbor Elf lives, and we draw lands, but... well, Goblin Guide can help, potentially. What do we get? Not a land, Courser on top. So, Forest and Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. So hitting a land here would be awesome, and not getting Searing Blazed, also good. That looks like Searing Blaze. Yup. Oh, Burning Tree? Well, now they can't Searing Blaze. Into another Goblin Guide. Okay. That's still not great. Come on, land. Alright, there's a forest, and... ooh, a node's on top. So we can Fertile Ground. They're probably going to kill our Arbor Elf. I think we just got to play Courser here, even though it doesn't feel great. Eidolon is not really what we wanted on top here. Another land. Opponent goes to attacks, swings with everything. Reveals Eidolon a couple times. If we block and they have a burn spell, are we just dead? Pretty close. Well, I think we got to take the chance. Alright, we get rid of Burning Tree. Lightning Bolt on the Courser. And a Nicodle. And another Bolt. Yeah. Well, now we're super slow. Terramorphic, Fertile Ground, go. And we're dead to many things now, unfortunately. You can see our budget mana base really punishing us here. If we had an untapped White Source, we would have been able to start killing things on our turn. Nyx Fleece Ram on top, Terramorphic, cracked. Get a Plains. We draw Plains. But just a bit too slow. And our opponent top decked the third Bolt. Alright. Well, budget mana bases, while they are fine in a lot of games, it's definitely true that you lose percentage points. They're not huge percentage points, but if you're playing competitively, having multiple lands that come into play tapped unnecessarily ends up being a pretty big deal in some games. So the percentage of those games are relatively small, as you can see from our games. We're 3-1 now, but you will lose more games playing Terramorphic Expanse than we would if we were playing Windswept Heath, for example. So, all right, well, that was pretty close for the Burn matchup.